Welcome to the Addison Township. This is a special board meeting for Addison Township. Today is October 24th, 6 o'clock. If we all stand for the pledge, please. Do we have any veterans here? Any veterans? Well, I'll start then. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you stay standing, please?
Thank you, Lord, for this wonderful day. Help us to make wise decisions for our township residents, and help us to make wise decisions in the election cycle. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, well, we have two items to act on. We have roll call.
Addison.
Here.
Linda Gare. Here. Joe Kane. Jacob Mayhew.
Here.
Larry Fisher. Here. Bennett Guest. Supervisor Pearson.
Here. We have the agenda.
If you don't mind, I think since everyone's probably here for agenda item number 2, I'd like to do the numerical reversal and have number 2 go first.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with item 2, switch to 1 and 1, 2.
Any discussion on that? Not for a roll call on that, please.
Jacob Mayhew. Larry Fisher.
Yes.
Linda Gare.
Yes.
Addison.
Yes.
Bennett Guest. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, we'll start with item number 2 then. Item number 2 is authorize the township legal supervisor with legal to contact the property owner or representative for the possible purchase of lakefront property to create a beach where all findings be brought back to this board for full disclosure and review. I just want to kind of set the stage here. This is a little bit time sensitive, first of all. And it's because property is up for sale and there's a time sensitive part of this. That's why the special meeting on this. And I thought it was the township's obligation to let the people decide whether or not to buy a piece of property on the lakefront. This has been an issue for a long, long time. And I think I would be amiss if I didn't bring it up so that people could tell the board what they'd like to do. As far as the board, I think we're pretty well neutral on this. We're just looking to see whether or not this is something that the township would be interested in. 9% of the people live on the lake and 91% of the people on the township do not live on the lake. This is not going to be a boat launch. It's not going to be the docks. It's not going to have docking or anything. This is a beach. We will have probably, in my opinion, is one dock for people to get on and off the boats. We are looking at maybe having restrooms and changing rooms up there, but basically it's a beach. There'll be a small parking area. Small parking area, what I envision is once it's full, it's full. Just like the boat launch. We have no control over the boat launch. This is just basically for swimming and for people to picnic. I know we've had a lot of problems on the lake of people congregating all over on different areas of the lake in front of other people's houses. We're wondering if this might alleviate some of that problem, where this one does have a beach. And that way people hopefully wouldn't congregate in front of other people's houses to use the beach wherever it may be. Like I said, no boat launch there. We're not interested in a boat launch. And it does give the residents a place to come to also so that they can use the beach there. There is a sandy beach. We're thinking also that it also alleviates the problem of where to put the sheriff boat, because that would give a location for a sheriff boat. And as far as the weed harvesters, that's a possibility that would give a place for the weed harvesters. As far as SAD, of course, the township would contribute their share of the SAD on the lake. There's no tax increase with this. We're not asking for any increases. taxes. And like I said, the parking, it has a certain amount of parking, and it's just like the old one, it's first come, first served. And I think this, in my opinion, I'm just asking if the lake is interested in having a township and a state in the lake, which has all kinds of other possibilities. So basically, I would like to see a show of hands from everybody if they're even interested in the township providing a place on the lake that the residents can go for swimming and the other items that I mentioned. I'd like to just see a show of hands if anybody would like to say yes on that. If everybody would raise their hand and say yes. If everybody would say, we have a couple people in the back, 3 people. Okay, we have people who are interested. If people are not interested, if you'd like to raise your hand.
Do we have question and answer?
No, this is nothing to do with that. This is just an item that I thought we'd bring up. This is not the time and place where we're gonna do any of that. As far as I'm concerned, if it's overwhelming no, then I would present this to the board and just say, what's your pleasure? My recommendation is, if nobody's interested in having the township, and the township, 91% of the residents having access to the lake, then as far as I'm concerned, we should just table it.
Yeah, I would agree with it. Being it's overwhelming that the residents do not want this, and pretty plain, I think we should maybe table it in the future to maybe bring it up again if an opportunity arises. As the supervisor mentioned, this is time sensitive due to the availability of this property. And that's why we're having a meeting. But if the overwhelming voice of the area here is, or the township is against this, I would say we forget about this.
Anybody else have any comments?
I don't know if the township as a whole has spoken on it, but if the residents in the area are opposed to it, I don't think it makes any sense to proceed.
Well, and like I said, my interest was to help out some of the problems that we do have on the lake. The weed harvesting, the congregating in front of other people's houses that the people don't appreciate. Place for the sheriff's boat, all these things were plus and minuses for everybody. And so if the people are not interested in that, I have no problem with that. Like I said, I'm neutral on the issue. I would go however the people wanted it.
I think it's a great idea as far as having a beach, but at the same time, I'm a firm believer of development zoned. It's zoned residential, and I think we need to find out how everyone felt before we would go down the road as well. So remove it from the agenda, or either make a motion for no action, or not move forward.
Well, I'd be interested in a motion for no action if somebody would like to.
I make a motion, go ahead, Rick.
I'll make that motion. No action on this item.
A second?
I'll second.
We have roll call on that. Roll call.
Jacob Newby. Yes. Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
No.
Eric Sen.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Peterson.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to item number 2. Okay, number 2 is waive purchase order and approve the fire pit installation at the township, not to exceed $16,500 from the park fund, 206-822-932 to Mrs. Spurlock. I did put some diagrams, and I'll just go through these, and then we're going to take a quick recess and go outside and look at the site that's been marked off for the fire pit. If you see the one with the actual fire pit, that will be in the center, and you'll see the site outside marked. If you see the actual material here, there's also a bench area. This is this rock comes from Pennsylvania. That Spurlock wants to put all around the fire pit as well as around the seating area on top of the sledding hill. And so he's trying to show us that this is it's a material that they used to use in Pennsylvania for fence lines all up and down. And then it's brick pavers all on the bottom. And for the handicap, there's a big wide sidewalk that comes off the end of our sidewalk over here. And that winds over, and that's all brick pavers. And then it's brick pavers all the way around the outside. On the other side, where the parking lot comes off, you'll see the big sheets of slate that's on this page here. That will come in off the walkway. If we put that in, but that's not handicap accessible. So it's the side off the sidewalk where the handicap ramp is. That one is handicap accessible. And then the brick pavers on both sides of the wall, the seating area all the way around. And they also will put in the gas lines and all the excavation, everything. As you see on here, he gave me a price of what the normal price would be. Mr. Spurlock, just so you know, a little history there. Mr. Spurlock used to live right there by the Elks Club, the house right to the north of it. He wanted donated all the brick paving to the schoolhouse, the sidewalk that came up at Watershed Park. He's a benevolent person, and he is donating, as you notice, with all the discounts and his donations, everything, taking out $13,260. So it's a total price would be $29,560, and after the donations of what he got donated as far as rock and everything from the different distributors, it's $16,300. At this time, if you'd like, I would take a small recess so we could walk outside and look at it. Is anybody interested in that?
Yep.
Did you guys see that?
Well, we will recess so we can just walk outside so we can know what I'm talking about before we make the decision. That's okay. We're going to be recessed for 10 minutes. Okay. We'll reconvene now. We're back in session. This is the Addison Township Special Board meeting on October 24th. And we're just outside to look at the painting for the fire. Once again, this is a little time sensitive because if we okay it, they can get that in for this winter. They said they'd like to start in about 2 weeks. They do have the material, donated material and everything that they have. I'll open it up to the board for discussion. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
You going on, Michael?
Go ahead.
I was wondering, how is the fire pit turned on and off?
It has a lock and a remote key that turns the gas on and off. And only the person with the key turns it on and off.
So
There's a-
this isn't something that people can come up and enjoy the hill on a Saturday and turn on?
They would have to have one of the park rangers there. We don't want just anybody coming up and turning the gas on. You'd have to have a park ranger come up here.
Is there any way that you put on a timer, like somebody could push a button and be on for an hour?
I think for safety, you need something.
Well, I mean, we do have, 16 park rangers. I'm sure that, on a Saturday, we can get a park ranger up here
That
to
probably
be here.
could be supervised.
Yeah.
The other thing was, I know like at John's Fire, they just have a wood burning fire pit.
The only reason I'm afraid of that is because when everybody leaves, the fire's still going. Here, when everybody leaves, the fire can be shut off. And we don't want sparks if it gets really windy, blowing. Anybody else have any questions?
Do we need to waive the purchasing, the competitive bid ordinance?
That would be the first thing,
one, right.
because, and I'll tell you, it's because he donated
Right.
a lot to the watershed park, and he's telling you what he's donating here. I know Mr. Spurlock, and we're covering just basically some of the material that he could not get donated.
Yeah, after looking at the quote and walking out and actually seeing the grounds, that's a lot of material and a lot of work for the money. So I'll make a motion that we waive the purchasing ordinance.
No benefit to advertise.
Correct.
I'll support.
And we have a second. Any further discussion on that? Could I have roll call, please?
Jacob Newby,
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Ray Fisher,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay, that takes care of the waiving of the purchasing ordinance. Now, I'm looking for a motion to go forward with the $16,500 for the actual construction of the fire pit.
I have one question. The bid says 16.3 and our ordinance is 16, language in here is 16.5. Is there a reason why it's?
I intentionally did that in case something would happen in the middle of something, just to give a little bit of cushion.
I just want to make sure it wasn't. I would make a motion to approve the fire pit installation not to exceed 16,500 from the park fund 206-822-933-000 to Spurlock.
Second.
We have a second. Does anybody have any further discussion at all?
I just want to say, my vote will be no reflection on Mr. Spurlock's work. He put in a patio at my last house. I was disappointed when I saw the price. I think that's just a little expensive, especially for something that the residents can't come up and use when they would like to use it. I think in the future, expecting park personnel to come up and interrupt their weekends is asking an awful lot.
The deputies could be involved too. I mean, if we need it all.
I'd be okay with the deputies too.
I do.
But to leave it unattended, I think is no good. We agree or not, right? We agree that you can't leave it unattended.
I agree with you, and I think in Brandon on the weekends, they actually hire staff, because that's when people are gonna use it, is
Right.
on the weekends. So there's nothing wrong with hiring somebody to be on the premise, especially when you're talking about a fire, so that people can enjoy it. There should be somebody here anyways if people are going to use it. So there's a solution. I think this is a wonderful idea, and it seems like we're gonna be able to develop this area for a park, so I'd like to see it go forward.
Yeah, and being that it's a park-like environment, I think it's a perfect fit for the park personnel. I mean, it's an extension to what else they're doing, I guess. In the winter, I'm sure they're not that busy. I don't know. I've never been involved with the park activity.
I bring my kids up regularly to sled on the weekends. Oftentimes we're the only ones here.
It depends on snowpack.
It
Yeah.
depends.
And they have to get the word out that we're starting to develop this as a park, so. I
But we
think it'll
also
work out.
use General Square Park and we enjoy it. There's a good.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, can we have roll call on the motion then?
Yes. Erickson,
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Jacob Newby,
Yes.
Lauren Fisher,
No,
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. And that passes. Okay, we'll now open up the public forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak? Yes.
I would just like to mention that I had just found out.
Okay. Pauline needs your name, just.
I'm so sorry, Sandra Rippetoe.
Okay,
I'd just like to mention, I just found out about this meeting this morning in regards to a public access possibility. And I feel like perhaps a lot of people were not aware of it, and there was a misrepresentation in terms of the entire township residents. So as for it moving forward or not, that seems to be a moot issue. However, I would like to address the fact that there is a lot of interest from township residents to have a public access for township residents, not for the general public. And I just like that, put out there.
I do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? Yes.
Well, I have the negative of her comment because I live on the lake and all those boats that,
And your name for.
oh, I'm sorry, Tim Brinker, you want my address then?
Yep.
Okay. Concerning those people that park on the people's property and the beaches, all those boats will come to, but you would have to build docks to get them onto the beach. And I live right across the street from where you're thinking about doing it, or across the lake, I should say. And I believe it'll drop the price of our houses and the taxes because of this future. I think you guys should spend, it's almost close to $700,000 or $800,000 on like a gym, swimming pool enclosed all year round for all the people in the township. I think that would be, I think more people would go along with that thing, like I don't know, community center or something that you'd have a swimming pool, a gymnasium, or our exercise area. I think that would, because you got to drive basically to Oxford or to Rochester, to Romeo, to really use a gym. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that would be a better way to spend that money and more. I'm sure it'd be more money, but I think the taxpayers would think better too of going along with building a, well, I don't know what you want to call it,
Community center?
community center with swimming pool and a gym and basketball. Having families come and play basketball. I mean, this is why I'm thinking instead of, going on a little beach is not going to do much for the whole community. I think a community center would be a better way to go. And I think people would pay the tax because you're paying the gym memberships and everything else, and there is no pool, a nice pool, not a little tiny little pool, and like I said, a gym, stuff like that. So that's my thought.
Thank you very much.
You're right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
My name's Carol Schuster. I just wondered where you were planning to have this speech.
Where we're planning to have one.
Yeah, the
I'll show you.
location of it.
I'll show you a picture.
And I usually don't respond, so this is the time we listen, okay? But anybody else have anything to say?
I'm sorry I'm late. I thought it was 6:30. I guess we're talking about the beach proposal. You don't have a whole lot of information on that. Basically, it just says the township is looking at properties. Is there one in particular? Gene Crum has this place?
Yes, but you missed the first part of the meeting.
Right, I did.
Yeah, but
Well, my
We
property
took no action
borders
on
that
it.
property.
we took no action on it.
Okay, so, very good.
Anybody else have any comments? Okay, we'll close that then. Have a motion for adjournment?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we